In the Black Clover manga, Rill just literally drew Odin, the Allfather, the chief deity of Norse mythology. And this actually is definitely Odin. I see some debate on Twitter and comments, and no, guys, this is literally Odin. It can't be any other god in Norse mythology. If it is, then Tabata is either going a completely different way or just is completely wrong. But I'm going to go over that, but I'm going to go over why this changes so much for Black Clover, and why it makes it possible that Thor will be the next god that Rill comes up with in the Black Clover manga. So we're going to go over that in this video today. Now, you're actually going to get kind of two theories this week, because this will be kind of like a theory, then Thursday will be Theory Thursday for my Black Clover, and then Saturday, don't know exactly what video I'm going to do yet. I have multiple ideas, but yeah, so two theories this week. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you guys can help me out, please check out my light novel series called 9 Fates at 9fates.com, link below. Also, there's going to be a huge announcement for that series in the coming weeks. I'm talking huge. You guys are going to be so hyped when it's revealed. But anyways, you can also follow me on Twitter, but don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And also turn notifications so you'll be notified every time I upload a Black Clover video. So first, Rill activated Twilight of Valhalla and used that against Megicula, and it didn't do anything at the time. It's basically drew Valhalla, and then it summoned what seems to be Valkyrie, and he was inspired from the Saint Stage Valkyrie of Noel. Obviously, the spell would not be enough, as Megicula would just easily overpower it. But eventually, it actually did come in handy. And its ability, Twilight of Valhalla's ability, is that it basically makes it so that nobody within the spell's range can die, and it also makes it so that everybody within that spell's range gets a huge boost in magic power. Now, this is actually really interesting, because this actually follows Norse mythology. Because also, what happens next is Rill draws Odin. People say that this is not Odin, this could be a different god, but guys, it is. People say that's not because he uses wind magic in this, but Odin actually has a wind power in Norse mythology. If you just look at Odin, this fits some of the main archetypal drawings of Odin and like the romanticization of Norse mythology period, which is like the late 1800s, early 1900s. Odin has a spear in this, and Odin has a spear in Norse mythology, and he has a head at his hip, which would be Mimir's head, which Odin has in Norse mythology, which is the head of a Jotun that grants him wisdom by telling him things. Also, the spell is Lord of Valhalla, which Odin is the Lord of Valhalla in Norse mythology. But also, the powers that Rill is using is based on Odin's charms. In Norse mythology, Odin has 18 charms that he uses for immense power. 17 are known. The 18th, which is the most powerful one, that actually is not told in the myths. And this comes from the Havamal portion of the Poetic Edda. The Havamal is like essentially Odin's Bible, as a lot of people call it, because it's basically a poem about him. He gives a lot of advice, and then he also talks about his charms. Now, some of his charms just blatantly are in Rill's spell of Twilight Valhalla. Of course, I'll go over all the charms to talk about why this is the thing. But anyways, let's go over these charms. The first charm is just called Help, and it's kind of vague, but use your imagination. The second charm is actually really good. It heals physical injuries and provides relief from physical pain. That kind of goes into tandem of what this spell is doing to Rill's allies. It's making so they can't die, but actually gets even closer to that in a later charm. In fact, the third charm might even be that. The third charm is a protection one, which, when called upon, will allow Odin to blunt the blade of his enemies, so their weapons cannot be capable of inflicting serious harm. Now, remember, the myths are kind of like parables, or you leave it up to interpretation. It does not mean that literally weapons will be blunted. It kind of just means that nobody can die, which, again, ties to Rill's spell. The fourth is a charm that allows Odin to escape from any attempt to bind him. If Megicula tries to bind people, maybe Rill will come in handy. The fifth is it allows Odin to stop or alter the course of any attack in battle, which could be really important coming into this battle, because if Megicula launches an actual huge attack, which he hasn't really been very combative lately, then Rill could come in hugely in handy with this charm right here. The sixth is kind of similar. It allows Odin to turn any spell or curse back against the one who cast it. Kind of similar, except this one is more about spell. The other one was like essentially any attack, which would be more like a physical thing. The seventh is a charm that allows Odin to put out any fire, no matter how large, with a simple chant. Don't know if this would come in handy, because we just dealt with the Fire Devil. But anyways, the eighth is a variation of different ones, and this soothes the feeling of anger and hatred within that charm. If you ever had risk and he came to this battle of basically going to the full despair and then losing his 4-leaf clover into a 5th-leaf clover. This could come in handy. And this is the one where it makes it valid what I was saying earlier. 9th is a charm that allows Odin to calm winds over stormy seas. So this is wind manipulation or wind magic. So Odin doing this in the actual manga of Black Clover is consistent with the Norse mythology. So this is Odin. It's not Njord, what I see what people say, or some wind god from Norse mythology. It is Odin. He has wind magic in Norse mythology. The 10th one is a charm that is effective against witches or anything that has a shape-shifting ability. And by uttering this chant, Odin will essentially see their true form. And this is another one that ties to what Twilight of Valhalla is doing. That's Odin's 11th charm. It's a blessing given to soldiers that enter battle and ensures they will emerge victorious and unharmed, just like what Twilight of Valhalla is doing. 12th could be really interesting, and that is a charm that allows Odin to raise the dead and lets him speak to them, especially even recently deceased. And this kind of might have happened with Gaja. We didn't get confirmation that he was fully dead, but maybe he did die. And then this is just Tabata using Norse mythology to bring that this spell brought Gaja back to life. And when it's done, Gaja will be dead. He won't be able to be healed because he already died. This didn't just save him, it just brought him back to life. Number 13 is similar to an early one, and that's if Odin sprinkles water on the head of a child, that child will be guaranteed to never die in battle. It's fate manipulation, essentially. I've read different Norse texts that says this is fate manipulation, but yeah, it's interesting but weird. This one's kind of useless, but Odin's 14th charm is a gift of knowledge and allows him to know the name of anybody he could ever meet. Not really going to be relevant, I don't think. The 15th charm could be incredibly powerful, and it is a charm that gives strength of the gods, skill of the elves, and the wisdom of Odin to himself. So, this means that if he could activate this, that it gives people power, mana control, and knowledge of magic. And this might even be partially tied to part of the Twilight of Valhalla, which makes everybody's magic power stronger. Oh guys, the next two charms, you better watch out. 16th is a charm that allows Odin to rouse feelings of love and desire in any woman that attracts his interest. The 17th is a counterpart to the 16th, ensuring that a woman's love for Odin will never waver or fade. So if Rill is using Odin, and maybe can use charms of Odin, Sharmy better watch out, because we know that Rill loves Sharmy. This could be a little weird, a little crazy, but I don't think that would happen. But I definitely did think this shows that Tabata is using so much Norse mythology. Not is he just using it from a surface level, but he's actually looking into the actual myths of what happens, how magic works, and then also he's literally using Twilight of Valhalla. Odin is the lord of, or the king of, or the master of, and then he's using literal charms from Odin in this. So, yeah, there's probably going to be more Norse references coming in Black Clover, with this huge one coming out now. It's also important to note, and this is one of the charms that I kind of went over, but it is essentially curse negation is what one of Odin's charms is. So, I think it's the 10th charm, curse negation. They're fighting the cursed devil. This could be incredibly important for them going against Megicula. There's also the thing here that Rill wants to draw his ultimate masterpiece, and as of yet, he has not stated that he has drawn it. He drew Twilight of Valhalla, he drew the Master of Valhalla, he drew Odin, but he still hasn't said that this is his masterpiece, and he does say something. He says he needs one more lightning mage to make it even better, so that he could maybe draw Thor. Now, this is somebody like Jake from Twitter told me, gave me this idea. I'm like, this could be true. He has luck. Gaja's up now. Does he need a triad of lightning mages? Does he need 3 lightning mages to draw Thor? He needs inspiration. Remember, guys, he needed inspiration from Luck's lightning magic to draw Zeus. He's already drawn Zeus. We know he can, so he's not talking about Zeus. Is he talking about Thor? And then we have Thor and Odin in Black Clover. Thor in the myths is debatably more powerful than Odin. So this could be his ultimate masterpiece. If we finally get Thor in Black Clover, this could be Rill's ultimate masterpiece. He says he's going to draw his ultimate masterpiece. He wants to draw it. He draws Twilight of Valhalla. He draws Odin. Doesn't say it's complete. Then he says he needs one more lightning mage with Luck and Gaja. Who else could show up? If this happens, we see Thor. This could be the end of Megicula. So, but anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. So I'm going to go over why this is important for Black Clover, because it's a huge Norse mythology reference. It literally brings up Odin. This is Odin. And guys, remember, Rill took inspiration from Noel's Valkyrie form to draw this, which means he has to know what Valhalla is. He has to know who Odin is, which means that there is myths of the Norse mythology in Black Clover, in the actual world building. So, does this mean that Odin is actually God? Can't wait to see. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Do you think that Thor is going to be in Black Clover? Hope you guys all enjoy this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. plus